this is a big fantasy weekend. This just in. We're already in a hole in our fantasy footballers final. We were dominant in the regular season.
Hold on, let me pull this up.
But we're going against Jason Kleiman of
Our buddy
from NFL Network.
Yep.
He had both Stafford and Nakua going against us last night. And we had Kamara, and he didn't
did nothing.
He did not do very much.
Yeah.
And so there's a big weekend, and many people didn't make it or got crushed in their last week.
Yep, that was me.
And one of those people, for you, you're one of these people, is because you went ahead and chose rookie running back Bijan Robinson in the first round.
Yep.
And you took the approach of, I'm going to take him because I love him and I think he's going to have a huge year. It doesn't matter if I'm reaching for him. I know I'm not going to get him when it comes back to me in the second round. So even though I might be going 4 or 5 picks early for him,
doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. I'm going to go get him, which is an interesting approach. And then you, instead of you took him instead of who could you have?
No big deal. Just Christian McCaffrey.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So you made that choice.
Yeah.
And so in terms of his first year in professional football, from the fantasy point of view, a 4-letter word was Arthur Smith for you, because the head coach who is calling the plays in Atlanta would frequently remove Bijan from a game and put in Tyler Algier. And then when Cordero Patterson came back in, they would be sharing time. And you would think by now, week 16, it would have been, this is Bijan's show, and we're going to run him 20. He's going to get 20, 25 touches, and we're going to run everything through him, similar to what you're seeing from the Bills and James Cook, or what we've seen from McCaffrey and things of that nature. And that never materialized. But the reason why I'm bringing all of this up now is the one time where this was crystallized more than any other time is when in week 7, the Atlanta Falcons had Bijan, and he was on the sideline, and he hardly went in except for 1 touch. And we found out the reason why he basically had 1 cup of coffee that day is because he had, a migraine of some sort?
Something like that.
And they didn't deactivate him. They activated him, and he was there and on the sideline. And the reason why after the game is he had an illness. Something was going on.
That we found out after the fact.
And a lot of folks were like, so if you knew before the game something was up with him, how come you didn't let everyone know about it? As you're supposed to, I guess, with the injury report. Well, the NFL had conducted an investigation, and today they fined the Falcons $75,000 and Arthur Smith $25,000.
Oh, interesting.
Because of it. He wasn't feeling well, but he wasn't on the injury report. The league looked into the matter and has now popped the team and the coach.
So does that mean I can go back to my week 7 roster and then put somebody in his place, and that could have potentially affected the rest of my fantasy season?
Nope.
Oh.
You may not do that.
Bummer.
That is not what you can do. So that's something to, and again, obviously we live in a fantasy football world.
Of course.
But this is a real world where Arthur Smith may be coaching for his job.
Yep.
And the Falcons did, despite all that, win the game against Tampa, which is why he still has a shot to win this division. As Atlanta has 3 games remaining, Indianapolis at Chicago and at New Orleans. And he's still in this mix. And the NFC South is completely wide open. Certainly if Tampa Bay loses at home to Jacksonville, and Tampa Bay finishes up against New Orleans at home and at Carolina.
Yeah,
and ask Arthur Smith if that's a gimme at Carolina.
Nope. I think Trevor Lawrence is practicing today, so.
Well, he's practicing, but still not out of the concussion protocol.
Correct.
We shall see. And we'll see. I mean, I don't know if Arthur Smith just might be like, all right, every torpedo be damned. Bijan, get ready. You're going to touch it 25 to 30 times over the last 3. Like, give him 90 touches over the last 3 weeks. I don't know. Or if that's not really the answer. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes, and we have zero concept. But Arthur Blank does, and he did not give a full-throated support to Arthur Smith going into the final 3 games of this season. And one last thing, too. Everyone should know this. Arthur Smith, and I know I'm sure he doesn't really appreciate it always being brought up, but he is one of the heirs to the Smith family of the FedEx empire.
Yep.
He does not have to be doing this. He could be literally living in the Maldives, doing whatever he wants to do in whatever house he so chooses. And the fact that he chooses the life of an NFL head coach is a window into his acumen and his hard work. But I don't understand. And he's smart enough to know. Maybe he'll just say, screw it. Everybody wants to see Bijan. All right, kid. It's on you. And maybe he does see it through. They got to win games.
But he is so smart. And living with a Falcons fan, I know this. A lot of people think that he's too smart and tries to get too cute in the red zone and down by the goal line. And that has led to some of these Ritter turnovers and inefficiencies getting points. Instead, they come up empty-handed.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.